Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend Anastasia Washington, my favorite fangirl in the world, and we're going to talk about Halloween and horror and lots of other things. And I can't wait. It's been a long time coming. She's been super busy with various projects and stuff, and it's going to be pretty cool. Anastasia's a lot of fun and really funny, and it's going to be pretty cool. So, here is my new interview with Anastasia Washington. Anastasia, how the fuck are you?
Well,
Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween and welcome back.
Thank you.
Missed my favorite fangirl.
Oh, thank you.
For the next hour, let's talk like we're having a Halloween slumber party. Let's go balls out.
Okay, sounds good. I love Halloween.
Yes. Do you remember your first Halloween costume?
I don't remember. I just have memorable ones specifically that stand out to me. I don't remember my first ever one, but I do remember the one I baked for the most, and I remember the one that I was the most proud of, I think. If that makes any sense.
Okay, which were?
I think Shira, when I was a kid, my mom always made my costumes.
Nice.
And one year I was like, I don't want you to waste my costume. I want to buy this cheap Shira costume from the drugstore. And my mom was like, no, I'll just make you one. I was like, no. And I threw a huge tantrum. And I was like, no, I need this one. So she gave in, but she cut out the Shira, the big plastic thing. She didn't like my face being completely covered, so she cut out a little place for my face.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. It was the biggest deal. And now I look back and I was like, no, it was really nice that she really could make me costumes. You know what I mean? We're such brats, and then when I was in 6th grade, I decided I wanted to be Tinkerbell from Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably my most proudest moment, because everyone else was these normal costumes, and I was like, they're like, what are you? I'm like, I'm Tinkerbell from Hell. And I have a quick can in my hair so that it will stand up. Crazy. It was really fun. I was a weird child.
Oh, I was too. Let me tell you. I never wore a scary costume when I was a kid. I was always such a dork. My first costume was Pee Wee Herman when I was 4 years old.
Oh, that's a good costume.
Oh, I was adorable. I was a pedophile's dream, I tell you.
I think we all were.
Yeah. And let's see, I was a pirate for a couple of years. I was a clown. I was a ninja, a doctor. I was Jason Voorhees with a Dracula cape one year. That's probably one of the closest I came to really scary. I was Jim Carrey in the... Yeah, I was Jim Carrey in The Mask. Jim Carrey is the Riddler. All sorts of stuff like that. My favorite costume in 2010, I was a baseball player with his hands down his pants, professional ball player. And
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, you know what? It was a lot of fun. People loved it, but it was so hot because I had these fake arms in this baseball jersey I was wearing, and it just made me really sweaty afterwards, and it just it was too much. It was too much on my back too, so I never wore it again.
Yeah, no. If the costume is too much work, then that's not true. I've done a lot of costumes for a lot of work.
Yeah.
Or just uncomfortable. I mean, especially girls, we go all out and we wear these ridiculous things, and then we're like, why do we do this? My feet hurt. My body hurts. I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
But we do it. And party, and everyone was like, "What are you?" And I was like, "What do you think I am?" Literally, like, "I think you're Mae West." I'm like, "Sure, that's what I am. Thank you." You guessed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. I remember every Halloween costume I wore, and one of my favorite things I loved to do in elementary school, we used to have the costume parades. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That was my favorite because, because I've always been such a ham, and just performing and stuff. I just loved being a part of it because, the focus was on me and all the kids. So it was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal at our school, and I went to all performing arts schools in LA,
Mm-hmm.
so of course everyone was trying to up everybody, and it was a huge deal, and Halloween was such a big deal because we already were like natural performers, and we just wanted to be like the spotlight. So it was a lot of like Camp Beverly Hills meets Halloween.
Camp Beverly Hills.
A lot of Valley girls and a whole bunch of random costumes. Ridiculous. With pagers and agents,
Yeah. Did you ever go trick-or-treating at the mall?
I did, but we always had like a group of friends that my parents had, like, a group of friends that, become your group of friends because, you become friends with their kids because your parents like them. So we always had them, and we always had, like, Joe Beef's New York Pizza, and we walked around, like, the rich neighborhoods because they were all rich. We weren't, but they were. And we would get, like, full-size candy bars. That was mainly our thing, but I did a couple of, like, walking around the mall once, mainly when, like, I was older and I was taking my nieces and nephew around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was a kid, we trick-or-treated in houses mostly for the first few years, and then that epidemic happened where, like, people were putting drugs and needles in candy, and so started going to the shopping mall that we had, and See's Candy would give out all this cool free shit, chocolate lollipops and stuff. So we did that, and it was a lot of fun. I miss it.
Yeah, I miss it too. I mean, a couple years ago, it's been a few years now that Disney's been doing their trick-or-treat thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's super expensive, it's ridiculous, it's stupid, but what's amazing about it is that you can, as an adult, feel justified in trick-or-treating, and it brings back all those memories.
Mm-hmm.
And you become, like, the worst and best part of yourself by, like, being like, okay, I'm going to dump my bag out into this, and I'm just going to go over and over and over again and get the most candy ever. I'm going to get my $60 or $70 worth of tickets and candy. But it's really cool because, you can do it, like, as an adult. You can't go anywhere. I mean, like, did you hear that they're trying to outlaw people over 14 from trick-or-treating?
Oh, yeah, I heard, what state was that in?
I don't remember what state, but it's ridiculous. Like, who cares? Like, I don't understand why people care. Like, if a teenager came to my door and was, like, trick-or-treating and being respectful, I'd be like, here's some candy. Thank you for being a nice person. Like, here's some candy.
Yeah.
But that's not the way people are. I mean, I remember the first time, like, I went to somebody's door and they were like, you're too old to be trick-or-treating. And I was like, what? They're like, you should be making out with your boyfriend. I'm like, I'm 12. Thank you for saying that I should be, like, getting knocked up instead of getting candy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, I stopped trick-or-treating when I was 11 because my parents insisted on it. They got tired of taking me every year. And I went to my first dance ever in 6th grade, this costume dance for Halloween. It was the last dance I went to until freshman year in high school because I danced with this girl who didn't know what I looked like with my Jim Carrey mask off, right? And then she told me to take the mask off, and she screamed. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's so mean.
Yeah.
Dances are the worst. I hate school dances. I have no good experiences with school dances.
They got better for me once high school rolled around. You know, I had some good times in high school dances. There's some though that I was just completely devastated at because girls wouldn't dance with me.
Well, I feel like it's awkward for everybody. Like, nobody wants to dance with anybody. I mean, I went to a lot in junior high. I only went to, I think, one dance in high school, and it was the biggest disaster ever. My gay friend asked me to dance, and then, like, threw a fit at the dance, and was like, I only asked you as a titty, and I was like, you're gay. I wasn't thinking this was a date. And then he stabbed himself with his boot in the air, and my dress broke, and I was like, this is the worst. I don't understand. What is happening? It's the worst day.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I was thinking the other day, who the fuck came up with that song, Trick or Treat, Smell My Feet?
Ew, I know, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of origin. Like, Ring Around the Rosie has an origin. All of these things have an origin. So there's probably something that's totally disgusting and stupid that is behind it. But I don't know that I want to know. Or maybe I do. I don't know. I don't want to know. Maybe I do.
Yeah, it's like, I'll take the candy, but I'm not going to smell that old witch's stinky feet. You know?
Yeah, I know, like, stinky feet, well, I'm not a feet person. So anything that makes the feet is like clowns for me. Clowns and feet. I don't do clowns, feet, or birds. Those are the things I don't do. We all have our things.
Yeah. Like, are you going to dress up this year?
You know, I did a few, like, haunted houses and stuff, but this year I think I'm, like, staying in and maybe wearing a onesie and being all comfortable and watching horror movies and passing out some candy, old-fashioned style.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do and stuff. I haven't dressed up in 3 years because of financial reasons, but I was doing a Halloween podcast with my friend the other night, and she's like, "Come on, at least do something. Get some tinfoil and make a hat or something. Just do something, you know." And I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear a belly shirt and be a belly button fetishist.
That's creative. You're creative with your costumes. I think I'm most lazy this year. I mean, I usually I'm at LA Comic-Con around this time, and LA Comic-Con has for a while either like landed right on Halloween or around Halloween, and usually I'm there. But this year I wasn't, and I still didn't dress up. So last year I dressed up as a Silent Hill nerd at LA Comic-Con.
Ooh, that
was a lot. That was a lot.
That must be awesome, though. Yeah. Wow.
It was awesome, but also, like, having your face covered that much of the time is just really uncomfortable. Like, it's really disorienting, and you're just, like, you're, like, trying to, like, contort yourself for every photo. It's just, like, a lot. And I was like, this was, like, an hour-long thing that I took for, like, 28 hours, because, like, the con and then after and all that. I was like, this is too long. This is too long at this. I don't understand how people do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. What are your ideal horror movies to watch on Halloween?
I was thinking about that today because I was like, do I want to watch something new or do I want to watch something old? Like, I've always, like, loved classic horror movies. I love Nightmare on Elm Street a lot. That was the one that, like, freaked me out as a kid. Like,
yep.
Talk about, like, the classic, slasher monster. He was always the one that freaked me out the most.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably end up watching one of those. But, like, I don't know. Like, I'm down for, like, any of them. I've watched a variety of them on Halloween. And, I mean, I think one time me and my friends on Halloween decided it would be really great to get high and watch Saw. And I was like, this is going to be horrible. But it wasn't horrible, actually. It was fine. It was when we turned on Labyrinth.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm.
Just any of those kind of things. I don't think I'd watch The Exorcist. The Exorcist still kind of freaks me out. But I do watch it every once in a while, but on Halloween that might be a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a recovering Catholic. That's too much.
I went to Catholic school 8 years.
It's still creepy to me. I don't know. Somebody was talking about it the other day, and they're like, Exorcist used to freak me out, and then I saw it recently, and I was like, it's so bad. And I was like, no, it's still real creepy. I don't know what you're saying. It's still real bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think probably Nightmare on Elm Street is my top one to watch at Halloween. How about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies tonight. I'm actually interviewing the director of the second one tonight, too, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many new ones that I haven't, gotten to, I haven't even watched the new Halloween, which is, kind of sad for me because I need to get out and see it, because I heard she kicked some major butt in it, so that. I'm just, I've been watching a lot of, I finished Haunting of Hill House, and then I watched Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, so I might watch a couple of episodes again of Chilling, because I really liked it. I really liked Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I know some people are not liking it, but I love it.
Nice. Yeah. Do you like horror hosts?
I do. I mean, Elvira is my everything. I mean, well, she's still my everything. But when I was growing up, Elvira and Crypt Keeper were my favorites. I used to just tell people that I was going to become Elvira and I was going to marry the Crypt Keeper. And people were like, "You're a crazy kid. How are you watching this?" And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I always watched all those shows. Even when I was a kid, I watched Alfred Hitchcock's Revenge and Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, all of those. So I love those kind of things. I always had a dream to be in Elvira's shoes one day.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Elvira's show when I was growing up. I guess it's because her show was just in Los Angeles right back then, right?
I think so, yeah. I think we were quite spoiled with some of our content, for sure, in Los Angeles. There's some stuff that I'll talk about, and some of my friends will be like, "Oh, we didn't grow up here, so we didn't get to see it." I was like, "Oh, really? Did not know that was a thing. Okay."
Yeah, I watched her movie, and I watched the root beer commercial she did, but that was about it as far as Elvira. But I had Commander USA. I don't think I know that one. Yeah, he was on Saturdays on the USA Network when they were still pretty young, back in the late '80s, and he was like a superhero, and he showed horror, but he also showed exploitation movies in general, and low budget comedies and stuff like that. He was a variety guy, and he actually died about 6 months ago or something. But yeah, I had him. Then I had Rhonda Shear on USA Up All Night.
Oh yeah, see, I don't remember those.
Yeah, Rhonda Shear would do Saturday night. Gilbert Gottfried would do Friday night, and then there was Joe Bob Briggs.
No, I don't know that one either.
Yeah, he was on. He was TNT Monster Vision. Yeah, he was on the movie channel first, Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater, and then he was TNT Monster Vision later and stuff. And those were my horror hosts.
Can you find these? Can you find
Oh yeah, they're on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'll have to check some of these out for sure.
Yeah. By the time I was old enough, a lot of our local horror hosts here were gone. We did have them earlier, like before I was born and stuff. But then by the time I got to my teen years, we had Offbeat Cinema over here. They're still going. They're syndicated throughout the country now. And yeah, and then there's all these different ones. I'm actually wanting to start my own horror show. And I might go back to the Bay Area for a little bit, beginning of 2019, and I'm gonna get some friends together and shoot a pilot. And I have the whole thing planned. Like I don't want to do the same horror show that you've seen since the 50s. I want to do something really politically incorrect and irreverent and edgy, but also just hilariously funny. You know?
Yeah, that's amazing. You should totally do that. I've always been like trying to get a show like that together. It's always been my dream to be like the next Elvira, and hopefully one day one of those will come. But I know that me and my friend Melissa Howland have some ideas brewing about just two girls talking horror, because I feel like, I mean, there are some out there, but we're definitely underrepresented in the media, or we're represented in a certain way, and
Yes.
there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of horror movie loving females out there. We just gotta show the world that we're here.
Yes, you do. I'm pro-woman, and I support that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we love it so much. I mean, I was watching Halloween Baking Show, which, is amazing because I love the baking shows and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they had they made some comment about horror movies, and I'm the worst person to ever watch baking shows with anyway, because I'm always screaming at the TV like people that watch sports. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If they said something inaccurate about a horror movie, I was like, I'm gonna flip tables. This is so wrong. I'm so angry. And my mom was like, nobody should ever see this TV. I was like, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I love horror movie trivia. It was really fun.
Of course. But yeah, you guys don't have the advantage though anymore in LA to do cable access. But all the horror hosts I've interviewed, a lot of them have been hired guns. They've already come on to an already existing horror show on some UHF station somewhere in some state. But I interviewed this one horror host the other day who's based in Boston. Her name is Penny Dreadful the 13th, and she started her own show when cable access was just on its way out in Boston, and within a year it spread to 200 cities in the New England Seaboard, and it's just amazing how she did that. She got a friend together from high school, and they created this show. And it's still going. She's got it on the internet now, mostly. But that's how it started.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, I think we are unfortunate that a lot of the public access channels are not accessible as they once were. But we do have the internet,
Yeah.
And the internet is so freeing. That we can put up content and put our ideas out there. I've been very lucky to put a lot of my ideas out there, and I will continue.
Yeah.
Till the end of time.
Yeah. We have about 3 or 4 cable access stations left in the Bay Area, and they're mostly education, kids programming crap. But some people can do adult stuff just as long as it's not too obscene,
Right. Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to watch the original Friday the 13th tonight and Reanimator also.
Reanimator is also a really good one.
I know.
I was thinking of Hellraiser. I love Hellraiser.
Yeah, I got that too. I could watch that too. There's so many horror movies I have I could watch tonight, but those ones are definitely the ones I want to watch.
Yeah. I mean, Candyman's going to be remade, so might as well watch that one while freshly going to be remade.
Yeah. Yeah, while it's still...
I'm totally down for it. I'm usually not down for remakes, but when they give it to Jordan Peele, I'm done. I'm like, you can have it. It's just the best.
I didn't know Jordan Peele was making it.
Yeah, he's going to redo Candyman, and then he's been trying to get Disney to give him gargoyles, and I'm like, give him gargoyles. Give him gargoyles. It'll be great. How about they say?
I
It's going to be amazing. Everything's amazing. Just give them all.
I loved Get Out.
Mm-hmm. It was so good. It's been really inspiring a lot of my creative work, my script lately. And Sorry to Bother You Too was another one that really, like, I was like, if they can make that, I can make my stuff. It was good. It was weird. It was, I think it scared more people than any movie that I've ever seen. It was interesting watching people do that movie. I was like, there was like grown men going, I've seen Serbian film and this was more disturbing. And I was like, did we watch the same movie? Am I just like,
yeah,
what's wrong now that I'm not, like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird. I was like, I think I have a different threshold, but.
Well, that housemaid was so creepy, and she just creeped me out in the most awesome way with that no.
Yeah, it's one of the best, moments in the movie. That and the, like, running straight on, like, full scene. There's just so much good acting in that film. It was just so well done. And I just find it interesting when people walk out and they have, like, what did you think it was about? And people are just, like, vastly different opinions about what it was about. Because it's just, like, such a reflection of people's own insecurities and stuff like that. I felt the same way with the movie Mother, which was, like, a big deal last year. Everyone, like, came out of it with a different, they're like, oh, it's about an actor. Oh, it's about, like, all these different things. I was like, oh, so that's what's bugging you. It's just a reflection of what's bugging you at the moment. Nothing to do with what's really going on.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. It was one of the best of 2017. I also liked Happy Death Day. It reminded me of Groundhog Day as a horror film.
Surprisingly, so good. Surprisingly, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be, and I'm not sure how they're going to do the sequel.
Yeah.
But I was so surprised by the first one that I liked it, that I'll be watching the sequel. Again, I'm very nervous about the sequel, but I'll be watching it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And also the sequel to the It remake is going to be good too.
Yeah, for sure. I finally watched that. It took me a long time to watch it because I have such a clown phobia, and I remember seeing it as a kid and just, like, freaking out. So it was maybe like a month or two ago that I finally saw it, and I was like, this is good. I love Bill Skarsgård. I think he's amazing. In that other show, Castle Rock, he's also awesome.
Yeah, last week I interviewed Brandon Crane, who played Ben in the original, and he approves of the remake. He likes it.
Yeah, it was a good remake. It was just all, I don't think anybody had any real complaints. I think everyone was really happy about it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rare. I feel like, somebody usually complains about the remake. I know I complained about the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like nobody's business. Before and after I saw it.
Yeah. So if
Go ahead. Oh, I was just saying, I remember when the first Halloween remake came out, my friend was, like, so panicked and he was so upset, and I was like, it's just a remake, you'll be fine. It's Rob Zombie, he's got this, it's cool. And then when Nightmare on Elm Street, they remade it, and the trailer for it, I, like, walked up to my friend and I was like, I'm so sorry, I know how you feel now, because I saw the trailer and I was like, it ripped out my heart. So I apologize.
Yeah. Oh my God. So if I may shift gears a little bit here, when we were going to talk months ago, I wanted to bring this up because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't get to talk to too many people in my age group on here and stuff. But they, a lot of people in our generation have trouble finding the one, our soulmate. Why do you think that is?
I was reading modern romance which was a really good book. And I think it like really put it on the like it hit it on the nail. You know, like it was the fact that before, when you settled, not settled, but you were happy with what you got, and we're always, this generation is always looking for something better, for like this, like it has to align in this like perfect way, and you have to be treated a certain way, and you have to be all this stuff, like he has to live this way, he has, you know, like every situation has to be perfect. We're always looking for perfect, and we feel like we deserve perfect, and we do deserve good, like we deserve good, but this like idea of perfect and everything, you know, like I think we nitpick. We're kind of a bratty generation that like really expects a lot from the situation, and our parents, like, and their parents, they didn't expect that. They expected like somebody that they loved and somebody that, you know, they could work with, and they didn't expect it to always be good times, you know, and not perfect. They just expected to do it together. And I think there's pros and cons to both, right? I mean, like a lot of people put up with a lot of stuff in the past that we would never like put up with at all. But then I think sometimes we are just like looking for this like super ideal, and that's just it's not reality always what we're looking for, I think.
Definitely.
I mean, not necessarily me, I think generation-wise.
Definitely. I agree totally. What I was thinking was, you know, we come from, you know, baby boomer generation parents, and they're very free-spirited, and they also are selfish, and they didn't really take the time to teach us what love was, right? And consequently and incidentally, you know, we were the VHS generation, and so a lot of us discovered porno, and we also maybe, you know, misinterpret porno as what love was, you know, at that age, you know. And even though we learn as we grow and get older that that's not the case, I think it's still a little embedded in our brains, and maybe that's why we can't find true love.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I also think that things are a lot, like, if you want something, it's a lot easier than like, so you can get instant gratification, you know, in forms of porno or in forms of hookup culture. Like, there's no, like, drive to, like, settle down either. Like, you have a lot of options, you know, if you don't want to do that. So, like, why would most people settle down if what they can check off, you know, today I want this, today I want that, you know, it's like all at our fingertips.
Right.
But you have to really want certain things to align to outdo that, because, you know, we're a lazy culture. Like, I can get that, I don't have to work hard for a relationship, let's do that instead.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know, like, I think a lot of it is ease and, like, expectation and, like, this perfectionism, because I do, like, I talk to my friends and they're like, well, he doesn't do this, or I like her, but she has a weird voice.
Yes.
I think you're just picking things now, you know, or, oh, well, she talks too much. Maybe she's just anxious because you've had 2 dates. You know, like, there's just, like, there's no, like, I'm in it to, like, see who this person is. It's just like, there's something that's not right. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I have no patience for that. And I think relationships take a lot of patience that a lot of us don't have. Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be it.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that our generation is too picky, and especially not only just our generation, the generation after us. And it's just, I don't know when, I don't know why and how that started, but it's just, oh my God, everybody has an opinion and finding fault with something in somebody now. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, they can hide behind social media and say whatever they want and be, like, supported. And I do think, you know, our parents were coming from such oppression and such, like, you know, like, strictness that they were like, let us do a lot more than their parents ever let them do, and then also cuddled us a lot. And we're like, you're so special, you're so this, you're so worth it, you're so this. Because they had such tough parents, you know, it was such a tough generation before that. So I think, like, we also think that we're, like, so important, we're so amazing, like, we can't, you know, like, so I think we have, like, a lot of ego issues that are weird. Like, we're insecure, but at the same time, we think we're amazing. It's
Yeah.
like unbalancing. Like, oh no, I'm nothing. I'm never going to amount to anything. Anybody says anything to you, oh my God, I'm the greatest. How dare you? What happened?
Yeah, I interviewed a dating coach this summer who's pretty big on YouTube, and she's got a podcast where her and do you know the stand-up comedian Kristen Carney?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they have this podcast. God, what's it called? Something with Ask Women, I think it's called, where they talk about dating on the show. And she told me, she said, women love guys who voice their opinions, you know, and I never thought of that before. I was like, should I voice my opinions more? Would I be more attractive if I did that? You know, but it's pretty tricky nowadays because it seems like nobody agrees with anybody anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, I think it's the way you voice your opinion. Like, I think people should voice their opinions, but it's also kind of a like a dangerous time for everyone to always be so super blunt. Like, I think, you know, everyone's very fragile right now, so there has to be some kind of care as well.
Yeah, I'm very blunt. I'll tell you.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because, you know, people have abused the privilege of being, like, super blunt. So now it's the time that you have to find that balance. So, yeah, I think that in some ways, like, for me, I want a guy that is honest and speaks up, but I also don't want anybody, like, being all, like, super aggressive blunt, if that makes any sense. I'm like, no. You know, I think there's definitely, again, a balance that needs to be there. And I think we're all just finding it. This generation is just trying to find it. I don't know if we found it yet.
I hope my balance has been good.
I mean, it seems good to me, but, you know, it depends on people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this generation. But, you know, I know a lot of my friends are getting married, so it must be working. You know, they're getting married, they're having babies, they seem to be happy. I think the ones that are single, they have a lot of unreasonable expectations. Especially, I think, some of my guy friends. I'm like, that's not a reason not to date her, but okay. But whatever.
I heard a podcast you did once, like 2 years ago, that had me on the floor rolling, where you, a girl, and a guy were talking about dating, and the whole show you referred to yourself as a succubus.
Yes. That would be Bria Grant's show.
Yes, Bria Grant. That's right. Yeah.
She used to have a show where we would have to go on the show as, like, a character.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'd have to have, like, some kind of paranormal problem. And so that's the one I came up with.
Succubus.
I mean, I think recently that one girl who says she's had sex with, like, 20 ghosts and is now engaged to a ghost, like, that would be the perfect character to go on a show like that with. Like, this girl legitimately thinks she's engaged to a ghost, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Because I had never heard the podcast before, and I took it for real. I was like, is she trying to say that she's a freak and she does that?
get from, because I have some family members that are like that. Like, I just feel like they've just, like, taken all my life force energy after I see them. So I think that was kind of where that came from, because I've been around some people like that, where I was just like, well, how do you? And then, like, I think about, you know, people that date them, and I go, oh my God, how do they feel? Like, how do people, like, go, yes, I want to sign up for this? So I think that's kind of where I was exploring that character. I'm not naming names, but there might be somebody in my life that is like that. Still later.
Yeah. I have a friend who writes ghost stories, and I interviewed her again a couple weeks ago, and she told me she literally had sex with a ghost once while she was sleeping, and she told the story, and she wasn't graphic or anything, but she hinted it and stuff, and it was so awesome. I was just like, wow. I mean, it reminded me of that movie, The Entity.
Oh, yeah.
Barbara Hershey. Yeah.
I don't know how that would be. Like, I don't know that would be such an amazing experience. I think that would just be so weird. Of all the monsters in the world, like, if you were to have sex with any monster in the world, I don't think ghosts would be, like, on the top of my list to have. But, like, I guess it's a culture of people that really are into it. So there's ghosts, go on with your bad stuff. Go ahead. Enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine any penetration going on, you know, because it's a ghost.
No, like, I just really don't even understand. I mean, I always used to say on my other podcast, Awkward Conversations, I would be like, you know, the person that you probably want to have sex with on the X-Men is probably Professor X, because he wouldn't even have to touch you. He would just, like, mind fuck you, you know? Like, and that would be insane. Like, he could do things. So I guess maybe like that, I would assume is ghosts. I don't understand. But, you know, if it's your thing, if you want to marry a ghost, you should marry a ghost. I feel, you know, I give you the right to, I support your right to have a ghost entity, boyfriend, fiance thing.
Remember in the original Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd got a blowjob from a ghost?
That's right. That's true. There was another movie I saw way too young. The Haunting.
The Haunting.
Or something like that, where, like, he had sex with a ghost. I think that movie was so disturbing to me when I think I was, like, maybe 7 or 8, and I was at a sleepover party at, like, in LA, we have these, like, houses on stilts on the hill.
Yeah.
And, like, up in the hills, which is creepy and nuts, right? And so then I, like, went to a birthday party there, or, like, a sleepover, and so we're on this house stilts, and we watched, I think it was The Haunting, and he's, like, having sex with a ghost, and I was just like, this is way too much. I think I called my mom. I think I was like, I need to go home. This is not working out. We're on a house that's on stilts, and there's a ghost. I can't deal with this. I need to go home.
Yeah. Oh my God! I remember one time, me and two of my friends were up on a hill to smoke some weed. This was like 8 years ago, and there was we didn't realize this until as we were about to leave. There was a sleeping bag with some. It looked like a skeleton. I don't know if it was, but there was something in there, and it made us just fucking get the hell out of there. And my friend, the way he sounded like Chunk from the Goonies. He was like, "Shit, guys, what the hell is that?" I'm high from the weed, so I'm laughing my ass off at the way he said that, you know. And then when I come to and I look and I see it, it spooked me the hell out. We all slowly walked off that hill because we could have, fallen and killed ourselves, but we just got the hell out of there. And then when we were able to, we ran to the cars.
See, it's never a bright idea to go smoking in the hills. It's not a great idea. I've never had an experience where I'm like, let's go get drunk or smoke in the hills, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It always ends up freaky, scary, or being detained. It's not a great situation.
Yeah. It was just crazy. So have you, yeah.
I wish you had just been like, listen here, but yeah, I get out of there.
Yeah. So have you been doing stand-up lately?
I did one a couple of months ago about my niece. It was like more of a storytelling stand-up, which was my first time doing a storytelling show, which is supposed to be very different. We're not very different, but kind of different from stand-up. But of course, I'm a stand-up, so it was basically a stand-up. And I did it about my niece. My 8-year-old niece was always bugging me about dating and getting married and having babies. So I just did a whole thing about the things that she says to me, which was pretty funny. And then I let her watch it. And now my nephew's like, when are you going to do another show? Can you do it about me? I was like, sure. I'll do a stand-up about everyone.
I've only done stand-up 7 times this year. I went out to the Bay Area in January because I was auditioning for America's Got Talent for the 3rd time. And, yeah, well, I thought I was going to get it this year. I thought this was going to be the summer of Kovac. It was the summer of Barbalac instead. Yeah, so I did it there, and then I came back like a couple months later, and I did it at least once or twice and stuff. But I've been writing shit as I do this podcast and stuff. I've come up with some pretty good shit about the Me Too movement and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on that you can pull from in stand-up right now. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I've always been like the kind that like was like, I'm not going to do a lot about my family. And then I think that last stand-up was the first time I ever did anything about my family. And my mom has always been like, just use us. We're like a gold mine of like comedy. I was like, okay. So I think I'm more open to bringing aspects of like my family into my stand-up now, which I've never been. I've always kind of been like, I'm going to make fun of situations that I'm in. And not make fun of like, or make characters of people that are near and dear to me. But I think that limited me. So I feel like I'm ready now. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
let him have it.
I got to a point. I cut out a lot of dick jokes in my act and a lot of just gratuitous stuff. And stuff because I'm not afraid of the PC police, but I am afraid of certain things that are happening with the Me Too movement and stuff. So I wanted to cut out those kind of jokes and stuff, but then just ironically satirize what's going on in the Me Too movement, and bring light to it. Like the Louis C.K. incident. I wrote this really funny bit about the Louis C.K. incident.
I mean, I think there's like, I understand why like people would say that they're more cautious about what they're saying, and I think it's nice. It's nice that people are cautious because it shows a respect to what's happening. And I do think like as comedians, it's upping our ante and like upping our skill level that we find comedy and other things because like that's been done. Like the dick jokes have been done,
Mm-hmm.
So it's time to like pull from other stuff, and the same with me. Like I'm like there's stuff I can pull from that I haven't been pulling from. So, we always have to be evolving in comedy, and I think that's the most important thing. I feel like you go to a lot of clubs and you hear a lot of the same stuff, and now it's time to like explore what's happening because there's so much happening, and there's so much out there that we can be talking about, and humor is like the best way to like digest everything, and
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that status you posted about the anti-open mic thing, because I'm so anti-open mic. God, in the Bay Area, there's the open mic scene in the Bay Area. So many people use and abuse that privilege, and they they don't. So many guys don't even work hard, and they get to the point of power, and they just use and abuse it, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I always, I've been reading a lot of, in the last year, I've been reading a lot of, comedy biographies and stuff like that, and even watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's so important to have, a community that is supportive of each other, and I felt like every time I went to an open mic, I felt worse, and I didn't feel like I was part, I don't know, I just didn't feel supported, and I didn't feel like anybody was there for the community except for just there for themselves. And maybe there's some open mics that I just don't know about that are way better. But I also think it's difficult for a female going to these open mics by themselves, because I feel like we just laugh at and just not even taken seriously at all. Which you would think in this day and age would be kind of over with. But again, it may be the certain ones. But I just kind of want my crew. I want my crew that we can bounce things off of, that I read about in all these biographies, because that's really what helps people. Is they had these people to support them and bounce ideas off of, and respected each other and elevated each other, and that's what an open mic should be. But it's not. So I'd rather have my own crew that we bounce things off of, instead of paying $20, $5 to get up on stage, and then 2 drinks minimum or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I know that club you're referring to.
I just don't, But I know it works for some people, but it doesn't work for me, and I want to elevate my comedy as much as possible, and I think that for me, that is not the way.
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you ever done a show and then afterwards a famous comedian comes to you and says, "Hey, you were good, kid"?
Yes, but not necessarily in comedy. In singing, for sure, I've had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had people tell me, I've had celebrities tell me, after seeing me perform in other things, or on stage, or in not necessarily stand up, but in other comedy circumstances, that they liked my work and I did good, and that meant a lot, improv and stuff like that. I've had that happen, but not really in stand up. I haven't had the luck of that in a celebrity sense. But yeah.
I don't think any famous comedians have seen me perform. Some have seen me maybe YouTube videos and stuff, but when I'm interviewing them on the show or I meet them in person, I make them laugh. When I met Emo Phillips, I met Emo Phillips and I made him laugh. I met Wendy Liebman and I made her laugh. I've interviewed people I've interviewed a lot of sketch and improv comedians from the Groundlings back in the day, like Terry Bolo and Lynn Murray Stewart and Carol Ida White, and I made them laugh, And it's such a great feeling when you do that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And in circumstances like that, I've definitely interviewed people or have been on a panel or something like that, and most often I get you should do comedy, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Or I had to go to a networking thing this week, and everyone's like, do you do comedy? I'm like, yeah, but I'm just talking. You're really funny, even when you're just talking. I'm like, oh, that's very sweet of you.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff happens. But I don't really think anybody super famous has ever seen my stand-up. So I haven't had that pleasure yet.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there. Speaking of,
Yeah, one day.
yeah. Speaking of panels, you did a San Diego Comic-Con panel, which you were just, preparing so much for and promoting it and stuff.
Oh
So
my God.
what happened?
Yeah. So I was on two panels. One is my panel about traveling as a nerd, and then the other panel was about cosplaying with your family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was preparing with, like, I had to get everybody's stuff together. I had to get everybody's, I did, I do like a little presentation on screen and stuff like that, because I'm extra, and that's what I do. And then, Comic-Con itself is always such a big, big, big deal. It's not just like, show up. There's events to get planned and stuff like that. And I did not cosplay this year at all.
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed that when I cosplay, I get even more stressed out. It was a really fun Comic-Con. The panels were very well received. And we've done this panel a few times now with different people. Every year I try to bring in a few more people or different people just to lighten it up. But yeah, it was a really cool Comic-Con. I look forward to next Comic-Con. And I didn't do LA Comic-Con, but I'll probably do WonderCon this year for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to start getting behind the scenes at cons, doing, volunteering and, panels if I can and stuff, and just go balls out because I'm just tired of being looked at as a fan. I want to get behind the scenes. I'm 286 episodes into this podcast. I got to get involved,
Well, yeah, for sure. And I think, what I always tell people about that is just apply and apply and apply and apply. Like, it takes nothing to submit yourself to a con, and all they can say is yes or no. Like, cares, and the best they can do is say yes. And then the worst they can say is no, and you can even ask them politely, like, what can I change about my panel that would make it of interest to you? And you can submit more than one and all kinds of stuff like that. And I feel like if you really believe in the project that you're doing, do it. Just submit it, They look for comedy. They look for, unique ideas. I've seen at a lot of cons where they did stand-up shows and had different, people on and did, small sets. They're looking for content. So, you just have to, they want to work with you. They're not, some, untouchable,
snobs.
lipist type.
Yeah.
Or, they're fans and they love this and they want the best show and they want to give everyone a great show. So they're willing to work with you. And I just think the most important thing is just to reach out and ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
Ask. Just ask. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And a couple of months ago, you shot a pilot.
I did, and I did a couple of short films, and the pilot. I did a Twilight Zone pilot, and then it was like a game show for sci-fi, and then I did a couple of short films that I wrote and produced, which were really cool and really fun. Hoping to do some features next year because I've been writing some horror movie features. So we'll see what happens with those.
Oh, I have a horror script that I've been sending to people and stuff. I'll send it to you. You might like it. It's a very pro woman horror movie.
Oh, I love that. I love reading scripts. I think I went to an event where a guy was saying you should be reading a script a day, and I was like, oh God, I'm so lazy then. I need to be up on it because I love reading them. I don't read the script a day. For sure not.
Yeah.
But he said that's as an actor and as a writer, you should be reading as many scripts as you can, and I think it's important, and also to support other people, and we should be reading each other's stuff for sure.
Yes, I'll send it to you later today, and let me know what you think of it. Really quickly, I got this joke. It's so inappropriate, but very appropriate for Halloween. Okay, Cinderella is about to go to the ball, and she's on her period. And the fairy godmother gives her these magic tampons and says, "You better be back by midnight, or else they'll turn into a pumpkin." And Cinderella says, "Okay, fairy godmother." So 12:30 rolls around. Fairy godmother is pacing around the house, waiting for Cinderella. She hasn't shown up yet, and then she does show up, and she's stumbling drunk. And the fairy godmother says, "Where were you? You were supposed to be back by midnight." And Cinderella's like, "I'm so sorry, fairy godmother. I was dancing all night with this great guy that I met. He's got 2 first names and 2 last names. I can't remember what the last 2 are, but the first 2 are Peter Peter."
That's funny.
I told that joke to Dee Wallace, and she was like, "Ew, Tommy, ew."
But also.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, Anastasia, thank you so much for spending Halloween with me on the podcast.
No problem. I'm so glad we got to do it.
Yes, let's do it again when your schedule becomes less hectic. And
Yes, for sure.
And I'll send you that script. And again, I'm so proud of you. I'm glad that things are looking up over there. Happy holidays, and have a great day. Oh, and your birthday's coming up, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
I got everyone's birthday on my Facebook and stuff. I'm a big birthday guy. I like to say happy birthday to people.
Oh, yeah. It's November 14th. I'm a product of Valentine's Day, which is gross.
Scorpio. I'm a Gemini.
Nice.
All right, Anastasia. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. Bye. Well, there you have it. Anastasia. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Anastasia. You're just so much fun to talk to, and you're a barrel full of laughs. I just adore you. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.